Hey everyone, another great day in the AdmazoVerse platform. Today I'm just going to show you how to get started, how to get into the Admazo space on the Sansar application. We actually have the download client and then we have a web app client that you can just experience yourself. Let me just show you what the web app client looks like. Just go ahead and click on this and it will automatically bring you into the space, right? So now this is just a demo. This is not where we're going to be doing events. This isn't where we're going to be meeting people or anything like that. This is just where you're going to be able to try it out for the first time and see what it looks like without downloading it to your computer, right? So this is Sansar's been gracious enough to allow us to show this off, so that way people can see, how to use it, how to navigate it, how to of course, your avatar is going to run around and run in walls and stuff like that. But that's okay because we've already created a tutorial on how to do that. So I'm not going to go into the details. I'm just going to show you how you get into it. And this is actually the CEO of Sansar, Joe Callahan. But you can use his avatar if you want to come up and change the avatar to someone else. You can do that as well right here. Just go style my avatar. You either pick female or male, just like that. And then once you pick the avatar satisfied, just hit select, and it'll bring you back as that avatar. Okay. So not going to get too in detail with that. I'm going to show you how to navigate the AdmazoVerse. So I'm going to go and exit out of that. So to get the AdmazoVerse downloaded to your computer, all I do is click this right here, click download, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring you to the AdmazoVerse actual Web3 application, and you can hit visit, you can come up here, sign up. You definitely have to be signed up in order to get into the application. So let's just walk through it. Let's go and sign up here.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sansar. Let's begin by signing up for an account. Start by going to sansar.com on the internet browser of your choice. Next, we're going to select the Join for Free button. Start your download of Sansar and make sure that your computer is up to the minimum system requirements. Once it's done downloading, begin to run the Sansar installer. Continue through the installation process until you see the Sansar updater. Once the updater is done downloading the latest version of Sansar, click the Launch button. Now it's time to create your account. Type in the email that you would like to use, a name that you'd like to go by, and choose your password. Once you have agreed to the terms and conditions, select the Create Account button. Now it's time to check your email for the verification email. Click the Verify Email Address button inside of your email, and then return to the Sansar program. Select the starter avatar to go by. You're now in Sansar's Nexus, the beginning place and the hub of everything Sansar. We can't wait to see you in World!
Hey everyone, another great day in the Metaverse world. Today we're going to do a little bit of training on how to use the Metaverse applications, how to navigate your avatar inside the space, how to interact with objects and other items inside the space. Today what we're going to do is we're actually going to do it from desktop only. And then what I'll do is later on I'll create videos for doing VR as well, right? So we are literally in a cave, everyone, and this is how I designed it. So in that way, all what's going to happen is you're going to run into walls if you're not navigating correctly in here. But you know what? That's okay. Everybody has a learning curve. Oh, let me just turn this music off real quick here. Turn that down. Okay. All right. So we are ready to get started here. First thing what I'm going to do is talk about all the icons to the left hand side here. Right here, you see all these items right here. I'm just going to start from the very top, and work my way down. Okay, so the first one is the airplane. This is literally where you're going to go places inside the metaverse, right? And there's already 10,000 plus worlds in this application that you could go and visit. Now, how long would that take you to get through? I think that'd take you some time. I don't think you'll ever get through every single space unless you're just clicking, checking it out like for like 2 seconds and then jumping off, right? But anyways, this is how you get to all the other spaces. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of enterprise accounts in here that are not going to list their space for you to see on the codex. Okay, and there's a reason behind that. They just don't want you in their application because maybe they use it for marketing purposes. You know, it's like the last thing they want is someone showing up in the space and then they didn't invite you, and then you're in the middle of their video take and everything, and then they gotta say cut, cut. Okay. So, anyways, with that being said, just respect everybody's space inside this area or in this whole codex application. So let me go ahead and open this up. So like I said, the codex, this is where you're going to find all the spaces that are public, posted on the codex, basically. Okay. Now the cool thing is at the very top right here, this is where you can explore. You can see what events are going on right here. There's a lot of community managers in here that like to do events where, you know, it's literally sitting around a campfire and getting to know the person, learning about what they do, and just talking about any topics then and there, right? Here you have favorites where you can save the worlds that you like the most. Here you have visited. So every world that we visit, it'll actually archive it. So that way, if you're ever like, oh, you know, I went to this one place, I forgot what it was called, you can just go into the visited and just look at the timeline of when you visited that space, right? And then, of course, if you're going to become a world builder, you can build your own spaces in here as well, which is really cool. And that's a whole different topic we'll talk about. We'll have courses on that, how to build your own metaverse worlds and stuff like that. Okay, so let me go and close that out. Let's go back to this. So now this is quests. Okay, now the quests are like benchmarking your space, and I just got to say that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, depending on how full the servers are. But if you're going to build a space like this, like I'm building this out to where, you know, you're going to collect these tokens in the space. Well, that is a quest that I'm designing there. Okay, so if you go like this, as you can see, I've already built earn to learn for this space. I just haven't hooked it up yet, but this is where you can benchmark people going in your space, so you can make sure that they are, you know, looking for the information that they might need. You know, but I think most quests should be built for like people are like scavenging, hunting things, and you should incentivize them, right? If you're going to put someone on a quest, it's like you're giving them a chore. You want to give them something at the very end, which you can actually do that inside here. You can give them Sansar dollars if you want, you know, offer them a world that you built, or if you want to offer them any 3D assets that are in your inventory, you can do that there as well as a reward. Okay. Okay, not to get too far down the road there. Let's go back. Events, like I was saying, you can host your own event in here, right? So if you want to create your own events and market them on the codex, you can do that. And it's really cool where, not going to get into the details of that, that'll be a whole different course on its own. But I'll show you how to make your own events in here and how to market them and how to get people into your space, okay? Because everybody wants to have people in their space, right? Next is the event calendar. Of course, you know, as you make your own events, you can look at your calendar and you can post that to social media. So how cool is that? This is a new feature, respawning. I guess if you get lost in a space, you can always go back to the very beginning, which you just click respawn. It'll bring you right back to the very beginning of where you loaded in, right? And then you have home. The home space is kind of like say you're in the space here and you just don't want your avatar staying there not doing anything, you can just click home and it'll pop you back to your home space, which is inside your codex. And nobody, by the way, nobody can get to your home. Only you can be in your home, and that's where you would design your avatar. That's where you would dress your avatar. Everything to customize your avatar is in your home space. Okay. All right. So let's move on down to socialize. So this is super important to really understand how to use this feature because, I mean, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, I don't want anybody losing any of their data. Now, this is what I do know, and this is my experience. Ever so often, the platform purges their system, meaning that you'll lose all your contacts in your address book if you haven't saved them on an external drive somewhere. Okay, so everybody that you friend, everybody that you connect with inside here, make sure you have some way. And most people, let me say this right now, most people use Discord to create their contact list, and I'll show you how to do that as well. If you're not familiar with Discord, I'll do a whole separate tutorial on that so you can get in tune with how to use Discord. But Discord, the reason why you'd want to use Discord in here, say you meet someone in here and you're talking in the world, and then say it might be some business, right? And you kind of want to make the conversation private. All you got to say is, hey, let's jump to Discord. And then you can have a private conversation with that person inside the world, but nobody else will know that you're communicating with them because they won't hear the conversation, right? So I know people that do that as a hybrid where they'll be on the mic talking in their avatar in the world and then be in Discord as well with a bunch of other people talking and then going back and forth. So if you want to, not to drive you crazy, but that is very efficient if you want to have conversations with people where maybe you're talking business or something personal, right? So I'll show you how to do that. But let's go ahead and open up the chat. Now right here, it shows you where you can, it's basically like a texting chat window, right? So anybody that's in the space that says nearby, they'll show up in here and you can actually text them right here. You just say hello. And then everybody that's in the space right here in the nearby will actually see that conversation. Now, if you want to have a private text conversation, then you go to your friends list and you basically click on the person you want to talk to, just like that, and then text them this way as well. So this is a private conversation. This is a public conversation. Okay, so nearby is public, friends is personal. Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Let's open up the socialize again. So friends and people, like I already showed you that. So you can actually see who's nearby you. That's your friend. You can go up into the friends list and you can see who's online. So Nick is actually online. I see, he has a green mark right there. I could actually send him a text. Say he did some work for me. I could send him some Sansar dollars. And if his world was public, then this would be opened up to where I could actually teleport to him. And then right here, search, you can just say you met someone on the Sansar Discord, right? And you say, hey, what's your handle inside, what's your ID inside Sansar? You could just pop that up and find who they are and then friend them right there as well, right? Now, keep in mind, using the chat, the social button here, the socialize, don't spam people. Don't just purposely come into a world and start friending everybody, because a lot of them might block you because they don't know you. When you do that, what you're doing is you're creating yourself to be a troll. And what a troll is, I don't have a specific, terminology. I mean, everybody knows what a troll is, but you don't want to be a troll inside the metaverse, because what happens is once people start seeing that you're spamming people and trolling them and just getting into their space without even asking for permission, what's going to happen is they're just going to block you. And what's going to happen is you're going to go into a space where there might be only 2 people in there, but there might be 50 people in there, but those 50 people blocked you. They can hear and see everything you're doing on their side, but you can't see them and you can't hear them talking to anybody because they blocked you. And vice versa. If you have someone that's bothering you, you just block them. And not that I'm saying that's what you should do all the time. I would say maybe go get to know the person first before you block them. But just tell them, hey, you're in my space. Especially if they're in your own world and they come in there and they start disrupting and spamming people and say, hey, why don't you come over my world? That is like a big no-no. Never drop a portal in someone else's world because that's totally disrespectful to their world. Because what you're doing is you're taking them from their space and bringing them to your space without asking for permission, right? And a lot of people do that. They don't understand that. But we're going to be professional here, and that's why we're doing this video, because I want to make sure that everybody that's coming into our spaces here has respect for other people and understand how to use all the controls here. Okay, so let's go back to the chat, and then my profile is basically your business card. Okay, you can go ahead and I think it's right up here. Yeah, so when you go right here, you can edit all this. Um, I'm just going to go like this. Save. So that is my business card. This is what shows up when someone hovers their mouse over my avatar. This will pop up and they'll be able to see this information right here. Okay. You can update your pictures here. This is where you'd block somebody. Now, if someone else was in the space here, I could actually send them a message, teleport to them, send a GIF, add them as a friend, report, say they're trolling and they're just really annoying. You can report them to Sandsar and they'll basically block them out of your world, right? You can give them megaphone, and you can take the megaphone off, and then you can send them a message there. So how cool is that? All right. The emotes is more for like going to like concerts and stuff. This is where you can have like dance moves and stuff. So right here, I'm just going to say look around. This gives a little more animation to your avatar. Um, but you know, I think it's important to have emotes because it gives more character to your character inside the space here, and it's just more engaging. But I tell you what, being in VR definitely allows them to be more animated and look more lifelike or move like you're lifelike inside the space. So I'll save that for another tutorial. But you also have emotes that will go above your head. So it's like say you go in there and you're like, oh, I like that. So you click this, and it'll put a little. You're like, oh, that's intriguing, or hey, that's on fire, man, or man, that's electrified. And you're like, huh? What? What the heck is going on here? Then there's the panda. Then, oh, that's toast. And then you're like, oh, gotta get my bubbly on. Anyways, those are just corny little emotes that you can use. And there's a lot of emotes that are in the store as well. Okay. All right. Now, if you want to help market your space, here is take a photo, right? And so I can share it or I can save it to my computer, and I can use it to help, brand my account, right? So if I want to brand my spaces in the codex, I can use it that way. If I want to brand the quest, if I want to brand my store that I may be selling items on, I can do that too, just by taking pictures with this and then clicking that, and it'll send it. So by all means, save it to your computer. So if you don't know what you're going to use it for, you can maybe use it for a rainy day. But here, if we share it, I can actually make an actual landing page, and you can post that online for people to come to your space, right? So how cool is that? I mean, I gotta say the Sandsar really thought about how to. I guess I might not be signed in here. It didn't pop up, or it might be offline here. But anyways, you can actually create a landing page. We'll come back to that and figure out what's going on with that. Now you got the create button right here. This is where you can stylize your avatar. I'll just jump into it real quick. Not that I may spend too much time in there, but I'll go and show you how to design your avatar. So If I want to change the clothes, I can come into customize here, and then I would go into the clothing and I'd pick whatever I want and I dress my avatar up there. Once I got what I wanted, how I want my avatar to look, then I just hit return to world and boom, I'm right back into the space. All right, now we're back. So we can also create worlds here. So if you wanted to build a world, you just click on that. If I wanted to edit the scene here, I could just click on that. If I wanted to build multiple quest systems on there, I can click on that. And then they also have a learn to build, which it's pretty intuitive, but the thing is if you're just starting out, it's going to take time for you to go through all the building tools and stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify. I'm actually going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you what buttons to actually click on so you can actually learn how to build in here. But if you're going to go on your own, by all means, if you're good at reading nomenclature and stuff like that, you understand a lot of coding and what it means, then you'll probably, uh, you probably hit the ground running with it. But if you're like me, where I need to see a visual to really understand it, and then do apples to apples and oranges to oranges, then I think a video tutorial would be best. And that's what we're going to do here, and that's what we're doing right now is we're creating tutorials, right? Now, if you want to purchase stuff off the store for your avatar, for the worlds, if you need to buy Sansar dollars, you can do that. And then if you want to list your items for sale, you can do that as well. Now, I'm not going to speak out of turn, but eventually, well, you can already, but you have to do a couple more steps. But eventually, what you're going to be able to do is sell in real life merchandise on the store as well as virtual merchandise, so the digital merchandise. And I have courses that I'm going to show you how to NFT that so nobody can rip off your content. And I'm going to show you how to monetize it and the best way to showcase it to people. Okay, so that's going to be some more tutorials on the shopping item there. Now, if you want to get into the settings, okay, if you want to get into kind of like more of the back house settings, like calibrating your VR headset, setting your microphone settings and everything like that, this is where you want to spend some time. So today we'll spend a little more time on this than everything else. But right up here, what I would do is I would set your starting world to your home space. If you want to know all your friends that are coming into space and turn your toast notifications on, you'll see them when you're online and offline. The toggle run, you can turn that on and off. That's basically holding the shift button down. If you want to where you just hold the shift button, it's going to make you run, then it'll make you run. But if you turn that off, you'll have to always hit the shift button to run and to turn it off, right? Typing indicator, that lets people know that you're text chatting them. So that way they don't like jump the scene too soon. They might say, oh, someone's texting me right now. But how that works is you'll see a little thing above their head that's moving. Voice indicator, that's what's happening right now on the avatar. Oh, shoot. Let me see. Let me see if I can go like that. Yeah, so you can see it above, and then if I do the typing, let's see if I can do a type here. You'll see, yeah, see how I'm texting right here? It shows the little text above the top right there. That's that. Yep, you can see someone just came online. Avatar info, when someone hovers their mouse on over you, they'll see who your name is and more information. Enable tutorial hints. I would say keep that on for a while, so that way it helps you navigate. If you get your panel like stuck to the left hand side right there, all you have to do is hit reset, and it'll bring your panel back in the center. And what happens is when people download the application has to get the size of your monitor. Sometimes it registers it wrong, So what's going to happen is it's going to take this panel, it's going to tuck it behind way over here, and you won't be able to get to your chat system, or you're not going to be able to get to anything that opens up as a text box, right? So if that happens, all you got to do, go into your settings, hit settings, go into settings, pop up general, come over here and just hit reset, just like that. Watch it. Let me reset it right now and go back into it. Hang on, right there. Okay, so if you want to create like a comfort zone, say all your not non-friends, right? Everybody that comes in your space that's not your friend, you could actually turn this on right here. So if they get a certain distance of you, they're just going to disappear, right? And same with your friends. Maybe you don't want people too close to you, right? Some people get uncomfortable with that, seeing like another avatar too close to them. So you could set that, set those parameters up. Keyboard, I would keep that on. Face forward. Now, if you're having a hard time getting adapted to this for navigating your avatar, so I may actually show you this feature so you understand how it works. Right now I have it off. So I can use my WASD and it just basically, wherever direction I put my keys, so W's that way, A's that way, S is this way, and D's that way, that is not face forward. Now if we go face forward, what's going to happen is you're always going to stay face forward, right? So if you move, see now how I use the WASD keys, it actually moves my legs left and right. See this? So some people like doing it that way too, right? Um, but if you're making a video and you're trying to have your avatar walk towards you, then you're gonna want to have this face forward off, so that way you can have the avatar face forward into the screen when you're walking, right? So this would be great for doing tutorials, just like what we're doing here. Okay, so let's get back to the left hand side. Let's get back into the options here. So settings, let's open that back up. You definitely want to test your audio. Now, folks, let me say this. Please, please, please get yourself headphones with a microphone on it. It'll just save a lot of heartache of people saying, "Oh, we hear your voice doubled," or that's because you might not have headphones on, and then the audio bleeds into the mic and creates feedback and double audio and stuff like that. Get yourself a pair of headphones and everything, and you're gonna fix that issue. But right up here, I just keep the master level in the middle, voice in the middle. Streams is basically any audio, like say YouTube. If you play YouTube inside the scene, this is where the audio for the YouTube's going to come through. So some scenes are way too loud, so you'll have to adjust. If you go into someone's world and it's just maybe too loud on certain things, this is where you're going to adjust the audio. World audio is basically programmed into the scene. So whoever builds the world, they're going to put audio, like say it's wind in the, wind blowing or birds chirping, stuff like that. That is basically the whole world audio in the scene, and you can adjust it there. UI music, that's it's like when I teleport, you hear that boo like that when I go to different worlds. In sound effects, you can adjust that right there. Here's where you pick your output and input, microphone input, and you can also test it right here by just clicking on this. Test. See that? And you just undo that. You know that you got audio and world. Now, if you do not hear yourself when you click this little microphone, that means you don't have your microphone hooked up right here, right? And vice versa so you got desktop feature rate, which is here, and this is your microphone desktop, and then you got your VR audio as well. And usually when you hook your VR headset, it automatically sets up, but you might need to go in there and reset it, right? And pick the right settings for that. I would mute by default when you go into world, so that way you don't go into world and see you don't have a headphone, and then you go in there and all of a sudden the other person's going to hear themselves talking, right? So double check on that. Go in the graphics. Now, if you don't have a high-end compute or high-end graphics card, then you might need to adjust this to low or medium. Or say you have a laptop and you're running Sansar, you're probably going to have to run it on lower medium, because it's going to tax your graphics card, and you really don't want to burn your machine up. So this is where you do those settings, and you can do it with VR as well. Um, you can set your UI colors for, like the chat system. You can change those colors on your desktop. Display gamma, that's a new feature. I don't really know what that's about, so we'll just move on from there. You got full screen, and so if you want to exit out of the application, you have to come in here and take the full screen off, right? Mirror VR on desktop. Good, good, good. So those are all standard. Let's go to the advanced. Um, say your computer is getting full of storing data. You can come in here and you can clear your cache out. You can even make it to where you can't get more than 30 gigabytes file size. But if you're uploading files and stuff, or you're downloading files, or say you're going into a world and maybe they have really huge files, but you don't want to tax it on your computer, you can just adjust this, and that way, when you're loading in, maybe it might take some time for a building to pop up because it's still loading in, right? So I believe the cache size here is how big of a file size that your computer is going to be processing right away when you go into a world. So you can actually adjust that. Avatar, you can adjust this. So maybe your avatar has a lot of flashy stuff on it. It's really taxing on your machine even. You can actually adjust this to lower that down. But other than that, let's go back. Let's hit save. So let's go back to the settings. You can see the actual controls here on how to navigate. Most important is the WASD keys right here. This is what moves your avatar around. And the mouse, selecting the left or the right. Actually, the right pan camera will actually help you look around, right? And I'll let you go through all this stuff here. But that's where you find that. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, you can also look at the diagnostics. You can see how the world is running on your machine even, right? You can see how much it has to process. So I can already tell you that this is a really low poly. This isn't very taxing on the machine. What I say is if you see this, like it says 5,000 or more, then that might start getting taxing on your machine, right? But I'm only 311. The refresh rate, you want 60 frames per frame, 60 frames per second basically. So I'm getting 59 frames per second here, which is pretty good. I mean, it looks, I'm not getting any twitching or anything like that in here. It looks really good, and it's easy on my eyes. And then we can just click that again. If you need help with stuff, you can go right here and you can use this. Sansar should help you out there, whatever you're needing there. But keep in mind, you're basically creating a ticket for anything that you have issues with. It might take a couple weeks for them to respond to you because I know they're very busy. And then you can log out, right? Last but not least is the backpack. This is where you're going to be able to bring items into the space. And what it means is you can bring items into anybody's space. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to be able to put items in this backpack for other people to use as well inside the scene. So if I wanted to bring a bunch of dice in, there's all the dice. If I want to bring presents in, there you go. There's all the presents. If I want to bring baseballs in here, there we go. There's all the baseballs. So there is persistence in here, And eventually what's going to happen is we're going to be able to use this backpack to bring other items to other people's worlds, and there'll be persistence in it, right? Now I notice that I think when you click this more than 10 times, it that's as far as the persistence can go. So watch this. Let me bring watch, you'll see those rings start disappearing. See that? So what happened is I took the persistence of that space and put it all into the dice now. But yeah, I mean, everything's pretty interactive in here. I don't know if anybody wants to play Yahtzee here. And then last but not least, you have the microphone. So right here, if you turn this off, people, you notice my voice isn't moving now, or you don't see the voice indicator going. But when I turn it on, now you can see that I'm talking in world. That's pretty much it for the navigation controls for your avatar and how to get around the space. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring you in here and take you through this and just give you a basic tour of everything. So again, right here, this is how to navigate with your mouse with the WASD keys, and that's what we're doing in here. How to jump, just press the space bar, boom, just like that, I just jumped. So I took you on a quick tour, but this is a tour that you can actually now learn and use everything you learned, what I just showed you in the settings and the navigation icons to the left hand side. Now you can start putting into good use, right? So here it says how to sit on an object. You just come over here, hover the mouse over the chair. Once it does that pink when it turns pink, you just click it and you're going to sit down in the chair. Now I scripted this to actually turn the rocking chair too. Check that out. And if I want to sit back up, I'm just going to hit the space bar just like that. Let me go ahead and stop the rocking chair. There you go. And then I have a screen behind me where click on that, it pulls up a screen. So if you want to run media inside here, I can show you that on another tutorial, but how to run YouTube, I'll just show you right now real quick. So you go into the chat, open up the chat, and it's a quick script that you have to use. So it's going to be /TK, put a space in it, and then put your YouTube video right there, and you'll be able to watch YouTube videos on these screens, right? And you can be totally in control of it. Now I have it open to public where anybody could come in here and change out the YouTube if they knew how to do that, right? So I'm giving you a little bonus points there. Let me go a little faster here. Let's see how to run and walk. Okay, so yeah, so right on the shift right there, all you gotta do is hit the shift again, you'll run. Hit shift, you'll walk. Hit shift again, you run. Hit shift, you walk. All right. So we're going to keep going in run mode. Remember I showed you how to jump with the space bar? So we already showed you how to run and walk. What's this one right here? How to jump. We already showed you how to jump. Boo. Jump in. All right. This is a cool one. This I thought was really cool. Come over here, grab the banana, and I turn this into a banana gun and shoot the bananas into the little box there. So just where you're pointing this. And I made a little game of that. So if you want to drop the banana, you just hit the F button. All right. How to open doors, how to interact with this. All we're going to do is come over here, click that, and it's going to open up the door. And we're going to go this way. And if I wanted to shut the door, just come over here and click it again. Huh? There we go. Oh, I wasn't in the trigger. All right, so let's keep going here. So here's how to teleport. So you kind of saw me do it once already. All we're going to do is you could either use the X button on your keyboard or use the top roller on your mouse. Okay, so right like that, I may teleport up to the top. It's really helpful with scenes that have a lot of different levels to it. But let me go ahead and jump down over here so I can show you more. Yep, already did that. Okay, so let's go this way. Yeah, let me go this way. So I'll use the little teleport to go a little faster. All right, so what do you have here? How to toggle your voice chat. Again, we already went through that, but just to show you again, we're going to go to the left-hand side. And right here, this is how you toggle your voice on and off right here. And don't forget about the settings, right? If you need to adjust your microphone, go into the audio and adjust all this, test it right there, and then hit save. Now, sometimes you might have to, once you make the changes on your computer, you might have to restart your computer for all those changes that take effect on your computer. So just FYI on that. Okay, let me just go over here. I don't want to miss anything. I know we got some cool things over here. Ah, we got a nice stage, right? So everyone wants to be at a party, right? Everybody, let me show you something really cool right here. So what we've done in here is I've actually created where you could actually run the lights inside the space here just by clicking that if you want to put some smoke out there. So this is very intuitive, everyone. Now, you can see my avatar walking. All you have to do is hit the space bar, and jump, and you'll actually go into a dance move. See, I automated this to where when you come in here, you'll actually start having fun automatically, right? Now, if you want to hear the music, let me just turn the music up a little more. So you could be in here with your friends, dancing with each other. So you can see the power of this tool. Alright, let me go ahead and turn that down. And I'll just... this, I can come back to the stage and turn the lights off. Just come over here, do that, and then turn the smoke off. Just like that. So you have total control in here with the entertainment and everything, right? So we designed it that way because we want you to have really good times in here, and we want you to invite people in. And maybe this is where the first thing that you do when you come in here and tell everybody about the metaverse. Come to this this dance party right here, right? So the emotes, like I was showing you how to use the emotes, you can just click them right here. You can also have them on your keyboard 1 through 9, so they're like hotkeys. And if you want to get out of the move, all you gotta do is hit the space bar. It'll get you out of that dance move. Okay, so let's keep going this way. And as you see these tokens, this is going to be cool because we're tokenizing a lot of stuff in our branding and stuff, and not going to go down that road, but I'm just going to say this. We have integrated blockchain into this, so that way if you want to blockchain your business, it's a free open source solution that we're going to offer you. But the thing is, to use our blockchain, you'll have to buy our tokens, or you'll have to buy the geo tokens from our purse or from our wallet, right? And we'll show you how to tokenize your business and how to sell tokens in your business as well. So think of it as like, you go to Starbucks and you get points for every time you buy Starbucks. Same thing here. We're going to make it to where every time you utilize something, or if you want to get a course, you'll use tokens to purchase that. Okay, so let's see where we're going here. I don't know if you notice anything in here. Let me see if you can maybe scan from left to right. And yeah, you see that little red spot right there, right? Well, let me show you that. I purposely put that in there because I want to see if people can find it. I may say, go find the red cup, bring it back to me, and I'll give you 10 tokens, right? That's what I'm going to use it for. So let me drop that there. And basically, what I did is I took my coffee mug and I used photogrammetry and I used my smartphone and I basically did like a video on it, and then I ran it through a software and then I brought it into the space. So you can basically bring your real world items in here, digitize them, and bring them into your space, and then sell them to anybody, right? We're almost done here, and I really appreciate your time. There's lots of value that we're bringing here. Oh, okay, this is super cool. So this is for the content creators that want to use this as a way to market their business, right? So you can be the Hollywood producer. You can do anything you want. So the F4, let me tell you. Let me show you the F4. F4 is kind of like like square. It's like choppy, right? It's not really smooth, but there's a purpose for the F4. Now, if you want to get out of the F4 mode, just hit F4 and then you out of it, and then F10 does more of the Hollywood, does the drone, nice smooth. See how it kind of curves away, and so we can create some really nice production in here using the F10 button, right? So I love this feature. I love using it for creating tutorials and stuff. And then to get out of that, just hit F10 again, and it pops you out of that mode back into the avatar. And then let's see here. I don't think I got any more. Got to jump up on this. How to use the codecs. Again, I showed you that in the very beginning. We went through it step by step. And this is the finish line right here. So once you get through, this will teleport you back. I'm not sure where this is going to teleport you. Let's see where it goes. Oh, it brings you back to the ORXR Metaverse lobby. So you can see more worlds that have been built. You can see all of our business partners that we're working with as well. So we got NFT Wine Club, we got Pam Gant, we got DTM Cafe, we got AdmazoVerse. We got so many platforms that we're developing on that we want everybody else to experience them as well. So that is Web3. I do appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me in the comments, direct message me, and we're happy to assist. So, with that being said, you folks have a great day, and we'll close on getting into the ORXR Metaverse so you can see what that looks like. It's basically like an oasis with multiple other spaces that you can go to. And I always say this, it's not a game, it's a gathering. And if you can become that master of invite, you can really scale your business in using the metaverse. So with that being said, I may close out on this. I always like listening to that. It's very therapeutic when teleporting to other worlds. So here's my little AI bot. He's tracking me down. He says, go ahead and look at, if you want to speak to me, go into the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I may talk to this little bot right here. It's going to help me out inside the space. So we have integrated AI into this to help you and help navigate inside the space here. Right, so there's many AIs out there, so whichever AI you like or whichever AI that you've created a knowledge base with, we can integrate that into the space to help you out. So let me just wait. Let me wait until that loads there. I'll go back and pop it up once it finished loading there. But yeah, so check all the worlds that we got here. Let me go to AdmazoVerse right here. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're in the AdmazoVerse here, And I believe I do, yeah, I do have a bot in this one as well, which it will follow you around. And if you haven't been here yet, definitely check it out. This is the lobby for the AdmazoVerse. It's kind of like a chamber of commerce, and you can see what the pillars are. You can get to uh, you can learn about the business model. Let's go over here. There's a stage that you can get on. There's books you can buy. There's breakout rooms you can go into. There's offices that you can set up in here. There's going to be a wine bar. There's going to be a day room, where you can do pool. We'll actually go outside and fly those fly cars. There's a art gallery that you can buy NFTs in. I mean, we really thought this through. You can actually play. We can actually even play. It's like that. It's a game inside the game. So here comes the ball down. There we go. Oh, there we go. So check that out. You can play a game inside the game, or play the game inside the gathering. All right, so there's booths here that we can do expos in. We're gonna have a store in here. You come up here if you want to purchase that hoodie, you can, just like that. Let's see what else we have. We have a thing for realtors to show off homes. You click on that and go right into the home. So yeah, we've really thought this through on how we can purpose it for realtors even. So you can just exit out of that. Let me go and click on the little bot there. That's going into another AI for benefits. So you can talk to Nancy. Nancy will help you with your insurance benefits. Just like that. So we are definitely connecting Web 2 with Web 3. Go here and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and get into a flying car here. It looks like some people were in here already. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And with that being said, I'm going to close out. So I hope you all found value in this, and you can see the potential and possibilities with using Web3 in marketing your business and having another way to get exposure to what you're doing. But most important is we're going to be doing a lot of things inside the space here, and we're going to be helping a lot of people out in their business. So definitely check that out as well as it's available. So with that being said, folks, have a great day. Cheers, everyone.